Yo, what's happening, world? Name's Raheem Flowers, and I'm gonna be honest with you. This is the first time I've ever recorded a video since I got a new phone, so the quality should be a lot better. And I just want to say, shout out to all of the good black men, the good black women in the world, be it diasporic blacks, black Americans or American Africans, African Americans, black Caribbeans. Shout out to everybody who's doing something constructive and doing divine work out there. Now, the ones who are doing devilish work, hedonistic, demonic, wicked work, like the likes of Old Face, Dookie Haxon, bitch-ass Cornelius Desha, Oshay Duke Jackson. I'm gonna be primarily referring to you, but this ain't just about you. You see, I'm watching these videos, and I'm watching a series of videos with Oshay. I know his transition because I've been making videos before this nigga. I've seen his transition. He went from being the manosphere, the manhosphere, to going around having these gender warfares and sucking off Kevin Samuels, taking a Pan-African angle, moving to Uganda. But he also was supposed to be this doctor and went to Poland. I'm like, this nigga's all over the place. And now you're Tariq Nasheed's mascot for FBA. You can't trust a person who goes around grifting all day. And I've seen the transition of all these dudes. Shout out to my brother, Nefikari Dessalines, for talking about the FBA pipeline. And you know the beautiful part is, I was there for all of it. Yes, sir. You see, these dudes, all they did was repackage their talking points from saying the tethers. Remember the 2010s when the word coon was just rolling off the tip of their tongue so naturally, even more than a racist white person? The coon train. See, everybody seems to have selective amnesia and this Mandela effect that went on, because I didn't forget any of the disparaging things you said about other black Americans being coons. Because, you know, many of them wanted to take the conservative route, you know, like Oshay, emulating and really just copy and pasting David Carroll while turning around and talking shit about the man when he died and throwing him under the bus about a situation that pertained to Crystalline Karazai. And I'll put up the link for what I'm saying too. I'm not just speaking arbitrarily. You can't trust a man like Oshay. He's a bitch. He has no moral principles. He has no convictions. All he cares about is being a walking billboard. But this is what happens when what is called capitalism is taken too far. Capitalizing off of every opportunity. I don't think every man was built for capitalism. Because I think, see, it truly requires one with mental and spiritual fortitude to really reap the benefits without doing things at the expense of your own people. Frederick Douglass is a perfect example of that, because he was a capitalist as well. But Frederick Douglass wasn't going around selling other black folks out, you know, like Oshay doing. Throwing another black man who you were emulating under the bus when he was dead and couldn't even defend himself. That's pussy ass, bitch ass nigga shit right there. And nobody's gonna be able to call him out because either one, they're ignorant to this fact, or two, they're just as hypocritical and disingenuous as him. See, the thing is, I don't have a problem with what FBA stands for. Conceptually and initially, there's no way I can have a problem with that, especially when my own brother is black American. By the criteria of FBA especially, he's black American because his mom, my stepmom, is a black American woman. So I always find it so intriguing how you all can go on these sanctimonious diatribes about other diasporic blacks and continental black Africans. While yes, it is unfortunately true that many black Caribbeans and continental black Africans do indeed say disparaging things amongst black Americans. But here's the thing, while I do thoroughly agree with that, it's a one-sided argument to make it seem like it's only happening on that end and it's not happening on any other receiving end or spectrum. Because we all know about the African booty scratcher jokes. See, when I was going to high school here in Chicago, I used to hear all the African jokes, all the African booty scratcher, spear chucking, African accents, and everybody, because my family comes from Belize, assuming that I'm Jamaican. But that's just propaganda, and that's just misinformation at play, miseducation at play. While yes, I do concede to the fact that there are many foolish people amongst the diaspora talking down on Black Americans, you gotta stop making it seem like that is your primary enemy. You got more smoke for some Nigerian who is a cab driver or some continental Black African that works at a flea market than you do with Austin Metcalf's family towards Carmelo Anthony. You got more smoke for what's going on with all these online beefs. Like, take Godfrey situation with Corey Holcomb, for example. Corey, and I knew he would do this because it would be unlike Corey to not say, you a dick in the booty ass motherfucker. That's what you is, Godfrey. Your bitch ass can't even come to LA. You had to sneak in that motherfucker. That's what he said. Now, Corey, you know, nigga, you are not in any moral position to say anything about anybody, especially in the year 2026. You got caught KOing Mike Tyson, beating the shit, or at least knocking a Black woman outside her head. See, I always find it funny how you make it seem like you have so much love for your community. But I was there in the 2010s. I've seen Black men shit on other Black men. I've seen Black men shit on Black women. But you got so much love for your kin, fellow Black Americans. You got so much love. But you were the first one calling a Black man a coon who didn't adhere to white liberalism, who didn't adhere to the victim platitude, who didn't adhere to all that victimology 101. You got so much smoke, but then you want to turn around and seem like you're some sort of crusader for justice. You're not no crusader for justice. Just like Cornelius Desha's punk ass. See? This is what happens when you don't come from healthy homes. This is what happens when your father was a crackhead, nigga. You came from LA with a crackhead of a father. I could never expect you to understand what it's like to have a cohesive relationship with Black men and Black women, or even Black men and other fellow Black men, and have round table discussions that will help you move further in the right direction. Is that why you try to talk, minimize, and undermine what Captain Ibrahim Traore did? You know, that's a Black man who actually is setting laws and policies in place. We're not just talking about a bunch of jargon and self-righteous rhetorics about whose ethnic group is better than who, and really just amounting to a dick measuring contest. I'm glad that I'm glad my brother called that shit out. And I've been meaning to call it out for a while, but I had to go fix my phone and I had to deal with much more important personal matters with my new upcoming content on my new channel, where I'm not going to be talking about all these low-hanging fruit subjects about the Black diaspora and the Black community, etc. Because the world is bigger than us. We got to get out of that solipsistic sphere. And while yes, what the Black man offers the world is a vital thing. This is why they take resources from Africa, and this is why they try to not even try to. They make a staunch effort to take all the cultural, historical, inventive, innovative aspects of Black Americans, and then taking all the rich resources of the earth that came from the land inhabited by the continental black Africans, as well as Caribbeans. See, I find it funny. And me and Brother Kel were having a conversation about this. And we spoke about Liberia and how many black Americans were getting down on the Liberians in the 19th century, calling them lazy. And now the roles switched into reverse. Now you have the black Africans calling black Americans lazy and not doing shit. And by the way, as far as Akata goes, that's a subsector of Nigerians, and it's still not an acceptable behavior in response. But when has the sub-Saharan Negro not been a tribalist? You're repeating the same thing they're doing, being tribalistic and thinking that's the answer. But guess what? History has shown us that the triangular slave trade was only manifested through all that tribalism. That's all that tribalism has done. Rugged individualism has proven that all it could do is lead you down a destructive path, down a path that will be detrimental to communities down the line. Yep. So when I hear you all say things, and I'm not particularly a Pan-African, but you can argue that I do have Pan-African values. He's saying Pan-Africanism is dead. But then you see the internet cheering on Captain Ibrahim Traore when he let it be known to the world that he's a Pan-African. When he goes around his meetings, when he has formed the AES with the other brothers in the seal, like President Chiani and Assimi Goita. So how can Pan-Africanism be dead? But the man who has garnered the world's attention in West Africa, in Burkina Faso, has shown you that this is what he's about. And I know the Islamists, they're angry as well. They're looking at him like he's the Munafiq and he's the black ant that they talked about in the Hadith. But I'm not gonna have that conversation right now because I know you Negroes, you sub-Saharan niggas don't even know what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna leave that conversation for another time and another day, and possibly on my other channel, possibly. But yeah, I've seen the transition that you fools have made. I've seen Oshay go from being a wannabe David Carroll, being an acolyte to Kevin Samuels, to being Tariq Nasheed's mascot. I've seen I would call it evolution, but it's really a de-evolution. But he's such a bitch, and he doesn't even have his own identity and his own principalities to live by. He's just doing everything he can to make money. He's a grifter. He is a grifter's grifter. But, in the 2030s, I promise you all, you aren't going to be hearing about FBA in 2035. I don't even think I'll even hear it in 2032 when I turn 40. You hear these dudes going around acting like they care about the black woman. See, foundational black American women family don't get down like that. Like Tariq Sass wasn't cursing out Pearl Jr. and saying how she would slap her upside her head, knock her upside her head and shit while he was going on his curse out session with her. Like the nigga Sarge wasn't talking shit about Crystal and Karazine and how much of a bedwench she is, and talking about other black women, about how much of a coons they are, and how they have fantasies with white boys like Love Island. That is the ideal relationship and image for the black woman. And while all that is true, and I'll admit, I'm guilty of saying things about black women, but I wasn't coming from a place of being disingenuous. I wasn't just coming from a place of trauma and pain and projection. Because for all intents and purposes, for all the harsh and critical things I've said about black women, I have a positive relationship with most of the black women in my lifetime. But I know how to separate my circumstances with what goes on in the world. I don't live in a solipsistic sphere, and I don't appeal to no ignorance. Like a lot of you dudes who go around simping and behaving like how young Pharaoh behaved and how dudes you see all over the internet, like Angel Ramirez and all these other fools who are on the internet praising a black woman and calling them goddess, the type who would sit there and call strippers and single mothers who make bad decision after bad decision after bad decision goddesses. Hey, you can say what you want, but Tommy Sotomayor, for all his antics, he stayed true to his message about the black woman. You didn't see Tommy, even in 2026. Tommy has not shifted some grift and just had this epiphany and went through this simultaneous synchronicity phase like all these other dudes did. All of them seem to just somehow have this revelation on, oh wait, it wasn't the black woman that's my enemy. Now it's the black immigrant who's my enemy. It's always got to be the sub-Saharan black face with you Negroes, doesn't it? That's why what's going down in South Africa is so pathetic. Steve Biko will be rolling in his fucking grave right now. Robert Sobukwe would be rolling in his grave right now. Shaka Zulu. And look, everybody's always going to have issues amongst each other when it comes to anything in life. Warfare, disagreements. Everybody's going to always have a little infighting. But you want to know the difference between the sub-Saharan Negro and everybody else? It's the simple fact that they know how to put their issues on pause. Do you think that the Korean and the Japanese people fuck with each other like that? No. Do you think that the Irish and the British fuck with each other like that? No. I'm sure the Germans and the Austrians don't fuck with each other like that. But guess what? They know how to put whatever internal issues to the side for the greater goal. They know how to look at things macrocosmically. They don't sit here and say, oh man, I'm not going to deal with this tether. Oh, I am not going to deal with this Akata. Are you crazy? Oh, Boy, I ain't messing with this little Yankee. You're not going to hear that stupid shit. What? The ego has always been the black man's biggest problem. Even when it benefits you to do something, you lose all rationality when it comes to your ego. You lose all rationality. You don't think about pragmatism. You just think of ways to feed your ego in that moment. And don't let any of these dudes on the internet think that they're any better, because they're not. They're pretentious fools. They're sanctimonious, low-life scums. See? I'm glad that my channel got demonetized, because now nobody can say that I'm just in it for the money. My channel got demonetized back in the tail end of 2016 because I was talking about them small hats. And Corey Holcomb, by the way, you on that Jew Vlad TV's platform. And I'm sure you had some shit to say about Godfrey, because that small hat has issues with Godfrey as well. So it's just part and parcel for you all to say something about each other at some point if you didn't do it already. I'm gonna go watch the full interview or the parts of the interviews just to see if I'm correct, which I'm 95% certain that I am. So, are you and Godfrey in a beef with each other? Man, I don't want to talk about it. Man, okay, we're gonna talk about that dick in the booty ass motherfucker. So, with Godfrey, and he called me on my on the 5150 show, yeah. And he made it seem like he wanted to hash it out with me. But he doing what Tyreek warned us about, because he ain't nothing but a tether. You niggas were not using tether until you heard Tariq Nasheed's grifting ass use it. Nobody thought about saying nothing about FBA until 2019. None of y'all did. You're using tether the same way you use Coons in the 2010. It's just repackaged. Instead of calling another black man in America a coon, you're calling that black immigrant over there waiting in the immigration office a tether. Instead of saying he needs to be going on the coon train for his coon talk, you're saying that fool who made a video is doing nothing but tether babble. I have a question for you guys. This is going to be a devil's advocate argument. I have a query. Is there a functional equivalence channel to other diasporic blacks to what Tariq Nasheed is doing with his FBA crusade? You know, it's sad because it's not like black Americans all want to identify with this. A lot of them aren't even on board. It's just these terminally ill motherfuckers who do this. Some bitter Gen Xer or early millennial. And it sucks for the brothers who do talk about it and who do mean well, because they don't understand that underneath those good intentions is just fueling the flame for a man who doesn't even give a fuck about black Americans. So while you say FBA is not a lineage group, even though Tariq said this on his own platform, he's the one that coined the term, so it doesn't matter what you say. Just like if you try to reject things that are in the Quran, nigga, it don't matter what you say, it's what the will of Allah and the Prophet Muhammad put out there. It don't matter what you say about Islam, it's what they said. And you can't say that you can't put your word over Allah and Muhammad's, because that's considered murder by apostasy right there. And that's how you gotta look at things. You have to always look at the foundations, unironically saying that, and you have to always consider the source. These are fools who love the fruit and hate the tree, though. So I don't want to hear about how much love you got for the black woman when you were being passport bros trying to marry non-black women. And Tariq Nasheed is the same one who said you need to be getting in relationships with non-black women who also have non-black mothers. Yep. All these things are said. These are admissions. And do you think that this dude just did a 180? Tell me why Tariq is not with a black woman. He's with a mixed race woman with a white mother. Yeah. If Oshay got so much love for being a foundational black American, then why is his ass still in Uganda, messing with the little teenage Ugandan girls? If the man was a doctor, how does he have ample time to come out with series and videos after videos after videos? But he's a doctor, and he got his degree down there in Poland. But he ain't even in Poland, and he ain't even in America. Representing for foundational black Americans. Hypocrites. Every last one of these motherfuckers who run their mouth are hypocrites. And need to be admonished. They need to be accountable for their actions. Not just overlooked and say, well, you're going to use the white boy talking points of, that's just human nature. That's just human nature. Something that can't even be properly defined. But it's just for you niggas to make convenient excuses for them. Oh, well, everybody makes mistakes. That is true. Everybody does make mistakes. But the fundamental difference between somebody who is mature and who is honorable is they own up to their mistakes and they look for ways to rectify those mistakes. They don't sit there just saying, well, I made a mistake. It's human nature. You can't hide behind human nature every time you fuck up. That's cowardly and unmanly. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that for now. Have a good day, y'all. And just know, I'm not ending it here because you all definitely need to get the gauntlets from now on, moving forward.